St. Thomas University Journalism and the New Brunswick Beacon present The Basement Files.
Hi, I'm Tess Allen.
I'm Scott Hem.
And I'm Jacqueline Gallant. Welcome to the first edition of The Basement Files for 2014.
Coming up,
UNB students and faculty have been bracing for a potential strike for the last few months. We have all the latest in a special report.
the city of Fredericton celebrated the 79th birthday of a king on January 8th. The king of rock and roll, that is.
University of New Brunswick students woke up to some big news and some cleared schedules on Monday morning after a midnight announcement from the Association of University of New Brunswick Teachers stating that they will indeed be going on strike, effective immediately. John Munn is on scene with more. John?
Thanks, Tess. As you can see behind me, the faculty at the University of New Brunswick are not wasting any time going on strike. The administration and the faculty did not come to an agreement. This is the first strike in UNB history. The strike will not only affect the 800 full-time and contract academic staff here in Fredericton, it will also affect those who work at a St. John Moncton and Bathurst and over 11,000 students. All classes will be canceled until the strike is over, with the exception to some online classes and courses in Miramichi. Stacy Reading is an associate professor in the Faculty of Kinesiology, and he directs a group of protesters at one of the university's entrances.
We keep getting told that the university has no money, but yet we have enough money to keep paying our senior person more and more money. They just got an 8% raise a couple of months ago. So we do have money somewhere, but it should be paid on teaching and supporting students. The president of the University of New Brunswick Student Union, Ben Whitney, says student union executives are not taking sides in the dispute, but they say they are urging students to not pay tuition because of the strike. He also says the strike will affect employees but won't affect student services.
In terms of campus services, in the short term, everything will still be open in terms of everything except class. So the gym, the Curry Center will be open, admin offices will be open, the health clinic, libraries, all that will still be open, with the very big difference that there will be no classes happening. Students are voicing their opinions on the strike, and they are not impressed. They say it's not fair and selfish.
Yeah, I would say that I'm kind of worried about how it's going to go, because it's going to delay my education and everybody else's here.
I'm not excited because short term not having class would be awesome, but I don't know, if it takes away March break and stuff, then it's just affecting the rest of my semester, so I'd rather just get it over with.
Awful. So awful. Because it's just going to throw in a monkey wrench into like everyone's graduation and grad school applications, and it's just anxiety, and I also think it's super childish.
Although there was a lot of student disapproval of the strike, some University of New Brunswick students stopped by the picket lines to show their support.
Just coffee and Timbits to energize the troops. It's a bit exhausting, especially I'm sure some of them are getting the stink eye from certain people. So just keeping the spirits up, keeping morale up.
The administration has not agreed to pay more into wages for numerous reasons, some to do with overspending the budget and low enrollment in students. The administration says it's not fiscally responsible to pay the teachers more. Negotiations between the administration and the teachers are ongoing, and the strike will continue until a settlement has been reached. For STU Journalism, I'm John Munn.
the king of rock and roll celebrated his 79th birthday with Frederictonians on January 8th. Though the guest of honor might have been late for the party, he had a stand-in. Kirsten Schlote has more.
The spirit of rock and roll woke Fredericton up from a cold winter by celebrating the 79th birthday of Elvis Presley. A Fredericton committee planned a full week of events in honor of the king of rock and roll. But the highlight was a concert with award-winning tribute artist Thing Dunn. Among the about 300 fans in the crowd are Bonnie DeLucie and Jan Mocan.
What do you find so fascinating about Elvis? Music, his voice, and his looks, and the moves.
And Thane is the real deal.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, you help me, okay? We'll make the first cut.
Before the concert, the planning committee invited to birthday cake and live music. City Councillor Marilyn Curtin was the one who proposed to the mayor of having an Elvis Day.
And the mayor did declare January the 8th Elvis Presley Day in the city of Fredericton. First only for the city as well as for the province.
Curtin says she's already thinking about planning Elvis' 80th birthday next year.
According to the official Elvis Presley website, Elvis has only been performing outside of the US for 5 concerts in 3 Canadian cities in 1957, namely in Ottawa, Toronto and Vancouver. But artists like Thane Dunn bring the king of rock and roll to Fredericton. For STU Journalism, I'm Kerstin Schlote.
A St. Thomas University professor is under fire for an alleged incident that took place in a political science classroom last week. Dr. Mikhail Molchanov will remain absent until an investigation is completed regarding actions he allegedly took against a student, which included asking whether the student had a mental disability, encouraging him to seek counseling, and expelling him from the classroom. More updates will be available on nbbeacon.ca.
It may be the dead of winter, but Frederictonians have had their own personal slip and slide all over the city for the past few weeks. Sarah Landis is on location for more on Fredericton's icy sidewalks. Sarah?
Hi Jacqueline, I'm out here on the streets of Fredericton where the sidewalks are almost like skating rinks. People are cautioned to watch their step as they commute to school and work. The result of this month's winter storms has caused trouble for some Frederictonians. Slippery ice layered on the sidewalks can be a potential danger for those who travel on them daily. The icy conditions are also found around university campuses. A professor at St. Thomas University, Jamie Gillies, has had a first-hand experience with this type of situation.
I very carefully thought, well, should I walk around this or walk up? Because there's the levels of the parking lot, and I decided to walk up and missed a series, a piece of ice, slipped, fell forward onto the next level of the parking tier, covered in mud, and hit my knee on a hard chunk of ice.
Places downtown like Charlotte Street is like a sheet of ice as people try to keep their balance walking on the slick sidewalk. Some even choose to walk on the street so they can avoid the ice entirely. It's not just looking down people should be concerned with, it's also the danger of falling ice coming off of rooftops. The city has placed warning signs so that the public can stay away from these potentially dangerous areas. Students are well aware of the conditions as they travel between classes. Lucas McLean, an off-campus student, has heard of many who have already fallen while making their way to school.
I haven't seen that many, but I've heard of it from just being around campus and hearing people talking about it. You see pictures on Facebook, tweets, Facebook messages, etc. And I've fallen once or twice myself, to be totally honest with you.
With the forecast showing more freezing rain on its way, pedestrians should stay cautious to the conditions of the roads before heading to their destination. For STU Journalism, I'm Sarah Landis.
Road conditions this weekend were icy and dangerous in the St. John, Moncton and Fredericton area, especially on the Trans-Canada Highway. RCMP officers were forced to take action and had parts of the highway closed until roads could be made safer. RCMP had encouraged drivers to stay off the roads if at all possible because of the amounts of black ice that had covered the streets.
Last year, the Garrison fire put several local businesses out of commission. One of these businesses, the Same as Forever photography studio, is looking to get going again. Michael Bourgeois has the story.
Shut down and boarded up, the Garrison District Ale House was forced to move due to damages caused by a fire. Same as Forever, just above the Garrison, suffered damages, but did not suffer the same fate. This upstairs loft was transformed into both a photography studio and a place to display photographs and local artwork. Local owner Andrew Kelly was forced out of his studio for almost 2 months.
It wasn't bad being able to work from home because I didn't have to go anywhere, but it kind of made it hard to meet with clients. It made it difficult because I didn't have anywhere to do my shooting. A lot of my gear and stuff was still stuck down here.
Starting only as a website to working in the basement of a Greek restaurant, this business has evolved into Andrew's vision. Andrew both owns and maintains Same as Forever and is the sole photographer at the studio. Andrew called the fire a real kick in the teeth, but has given him a new outlook on making his business more successful.
So I literally took everything off the wall, gutted it, redid the whole place, and decided, all right, now we can start pushing it as a business that's open to the public all the time. Because it was more of an office, but now I want to start showing it off as a gallery because it's a beautiful space.
Almost a year after the Garrison fire, Same as Forever Studios has walked away unscathed. With a reopening of the studio last month and a relaunch of the website, things are looking up for this local business. Michael Bourgeois, STU Journalism, Fredericton.
City streets and sidewalks that could give Disney's Frozen a run for its money might not be ideal for pedestrians and motorists, but for St. Thomas University's Frost Week, it couldn't be more fitting. Andrea Balsinas has the story.
Don't be surprised if you see a ball pit in the middle of a university courtyard, for this is a new way students at St. Thomas University will fight the winter blues. The student union planned the Frost Week as an innovative way to break the ice among people at STU. The president of the student union, Elizabeth Murphy, said the idea behind the event is to keep things colorful and vibrant in the middle of a dark and tough time.
Sometimes coming back to class after a really great vacation, back to essays, it can be very tiresome. So the idea behind this is to be upbeat, to help people lift their spirits.
The cold weather brings a lethargic mood, and students seem to be catching it. These days, the coffee cup is almost an extension of the students' body, as they need it to keep themselves warm and awake. Emily Sheen is just one among several students who carry a blanket to shield her from the cold weather.
Winter, it's very cold here this year especially. Lots of snow, and so I'm usually curled up in a blanket.
The Frost Week will include activities like Take a Seat and Make a Friend, a photo booth event, the creation of a bucket list mural, free hot chocolate, and a pop crawl.
After a warm holiday, it is hard for everyone to get back into routine. But with the help of the Frost Week, students at St. Thomas University will find some warmth in their hearts. For STU Journalism, I'm Andrea Barcenas.
People seeking snow removal services in the next few weeks should be on alert. Fredericton police say there have been several reports of snow removal services taking money up front and leaving without finishing the job. Sam Laidman has the story.
You've probably noticed it yourself. People shoveling off their roofs is a common sight across the country this time of year. In Fredericton, lots of ice is built up from a few harsh December storms. More customers than usual are seeking help to remove the snow from their property. Many turn to local laborers to keep their property safe at a cheaper rate. Problems often arise when those who are paid to do the work don't live up to their commitments, either by doing a poor job or not showing up at all. Fredericton police have released a statement warning residents to do some research on snow removers before paying any money up front. Fredericton Police Communications Officer Alicia Morehouse says this isn't the first time this has happened.
Certainly each winter we do have a number of calls like this, folks offering to do snow removal, but because we've had so much snow in December, we're thinking that it's likely for that reason that their calls have been increased.
The big December storms kept city plows and snow removers busy, but now they're getting a little break.
Hello? Yeah, this is Brady Gaudette. Yeah, I'm the guy in Kijiji, yeah.
Brady Gaudette is a University of New Brunswick student who has done roof clearing for the past 2 years. He received 4 calls to remove snow in the last week of December, and none since. He says he's afraid that scams may hurt the business as people become wary of Kijiji ads asking for cash up front.
People look at Kijiji ads now is maybe possibly a little different in this area since there's scammers around, especially when my business says cash up front, because that's the way I do my business, but they see it as cash up front and then they get this, I don't know, maybe definitely could be affecting my business that way.
Scams like these affect the whole community, from those who are scammed to the legitimate workers like Gaudette. From Fredericton, for St. Thomas Journalism, this is Sam Laidman.
Every winter season comes with its own set of perils, including everything from icy roads to frostbite. But one winter predator is stealthier and perhaps more lethal than the rest. Ashley Agner has more on symptoms and preventions of seasonal affective disorder, a short-term type of winter depression.
The freezing temperatures have many Canadians avoiding outdoors. What some don't know is staying inside can deprive the body of vitamin D, which is found in natural sunlight. This can lead to the risk of seasonal affective disorder.
This winter has been one of the harshest in years. The cold days have people dealing with unsafe driving conditions due to freezing rain. The excess amount of snowfall has left many without power at one point or another. And with ice-covered roads and walkways, it's leaving many not going outside unless necessary. Seasonal affective disorder presents itself more among populations in northern communities that are dealing with the effects of winter. It's a mood disorder commonly known as the winter blues. Psychology professor Andrea Bose explains some of the symptoms someone suffering from seasonal affective disorder may have.
Low in the winter months in terms of your energy level, your enthusiasm, your mood. So this would involve not being motivated to do very much, staying in bed, feeling very tired, drowsy, and feeling signs of depression.
Even children can show signs. They may want to spend more time watching TV or other indoor activities to avoid going out in the cold weather. Taking vitamin D supplements is one way to replace some of what is lacking in the body due to early nightfall and overcast skies of winter. If staying inside is unavoidable, there are indoor activity options beneficial to the body. A gym membership will provide you with a cardio routine to substitute for your daily run. And some gyms even offer indoor versions of some favored sports. There are websites and helplines available for information and support if you think you are suffering from seasonal affective disorder. This has been Ashley Egner for STU Journalism.
The STU men's hockey team lost 4-3 in overtime on Saturday night to the UPEI Panthers. The loss drops the Tommies' records to 5-15-1, and they are even 20 points behind first place with 10 games remaining in the regular season.
Freezing temps and frequent storms in the region over the last month have kept many New Brunswickers bundled up indoors, far away from Mother Nature's wrath. But some aren't so lucky. Nicole Monroe reports.
With temperatures well below zero, the sidewalks of Fredericton aren't as busy as usual. For those braving the cold, they're keeping themselves warm by bundling up. But for some, escaping the cold isn't an option and has become a way of life. Roy has been homeless for almost a year, yet manages to survive the conditions from the help of Good Samaritans.
Thank you. There's some nice people here in Fredericton. They come down, well, they give me mittens, they give other people stuff. And sometimes they'll drop you off a hot coffee or a meal or, something like that, which really helps.
While Frederictonians are helpful, people like Roy can't only rely on them.
During one of the coldest winters in New Brunswick, the Fredericton Homeless Shelter is an option for those in need. Beds, blankets, and hot beverages is just a few of the things that the homeless are appreciative for.
However, the shelter is not only a place to sleep. The shelter provides warm jackets, shoes, and sweaters for those going back on the streets. Kimberly Douglas works at the women's shelter and is one of many workers that points these women in the right direction.
The people that stay in the bedrooms, we put them in touch with outreach workers, and we help them on an exit plan and help them figure out what their needs are and help them work towards getting to a place where they can be by themselves.
With long winter days ahead, people like Roy are thankful for anything, from spare change to a friendly conversation. For STU Journalism, I'm Nicole Monroe.
The St.Thomas University women's volleyball team took the court on Sunday against the St. Vincent Mystics. The Tommies were in for a very tough game, but ended up giving the Mystics a run for their money. The Tommies couldn't find a way to get past the Mystics as they dropped all 3 sets. STU did play very well, but ultimately the Mystics' strong starts in each of the first 2 sets were the difference. St. Vincent sits at the top of the ACAA, with STU closely behind in second place.
There's the patch, the chewing gum, and the electronic cigarette. But what about the weather? Danielle Delalio investigates whether the province's recent cold snap has had any impact on smokers' bad habits.
The winter weather has plummeted this week, and in some areas, warnings to bundle up were in effect. But that didn't stop avid smokers from braving the cold for their hourly cigarette. Justin Corbon relays that while the weather may deter how many cigarettes he has in one day, it won't stop him completely.
So the cold makes it so you don't really want to, so you can wait longer, which also helps how much you have and how much you smoke in general. So it's put me down to about 4 a day.
Diane Stacy, who works in the Student Union Building's convenience store on UNB's campus, confirmed that cigarettes aren't just a seasonal thing.
Seasons make no difference in cigarettes. They sell the same winter, summer, spring, fall.
Cassie McFarland Webb, a St. Thomas University student, was also out for a smoke today in the cold, even though she wished she wasn't.
I don't know, it's a horrible, disgusting habit, and I wish that I didn't have it. It's a pain, it's expensive, and I would really, really like to quit. I just, need the motivation, I guess.
A new law came into effect in New Brunswick in January, which bans smoking in a vehicle with children, which Cassie is excited about.
I think it's actually a fabulous idea because I remember I grew up in the 90s and people smoked in their house with their kids or in their car with their kids, and I remember sitting there thinking I'd really like it if you weren't smoking right now. This is gross.
Some, like Justin, thought this law was already in place.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. You were allowed to do that before?
Yeah.
That's a horrible idea.
It was minus 23 today, but that did not stop smokers from coming out and enjoying the occasional cigarette. This is Danielle DeLolio reporting for STU Journalism.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of the Basement Files.
Until next time in 2 weeks, stay updated on nbbeacon.ca.
For STU Journalism, I'm Jacqueline Gallant.
I'm Tess Allen.
And I'm Scott Hems. We'll see you next time.